Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about a subject that a lot of people probably face, anxiety. Many of us experience anxiety. If you ever felt your heart race, your thoughts spiral, and an empty pit in your stomach, you're not alone. I want to share just what I've learned on how to manage the anxiety because you can't just get rid of anxiety. It can't be like completely removed from the human experience, sadly. So, some tools that might help, I want to share some with you today. So, these tools can even help you on the wildest days that you have when you experience anxiety, and I highly recommend it if you experience anxiety on a daily to continue to watch this video. So, I personally have been a victim of my own anxious habits to where it became a part of me. After realizing and working through these, I no longer allow anxiety to bring me down and pull me away from what I'm passionate about. I think that is the one first thing is the desire to change. And I have that desire to want to change. I did not want to feel all those anxious feelings anymore and be held captive to feelings that were not serving my highest health. So, first, let's talk about what anxiety really is. It's your body's natural way of signaling that something is wrong or off, something that needs attention towards. But sometimes the alarm gets stuck on the on switch, and it's hard to see that completely. Whether it's from stress, life changes, or just how we are wired, anxiety is not a flaw, it is a sign of change. So, in astrology, anxiety can show up when Saturn is very strong and active, like he is in my chart. Saturn wants us to pay attention and build structure and learn where our limits are. When anxiety takes over, the mind can race. The quickest way back, grounding in the body. And here's my favorite technique, deep breathing. And you can try it with me. Inhale and hold, and slowly exhale. And repeat that in the sitting position. And make sure when you're breathing in, you're bringing your chest forward so you're taking the deepest breath possible. After a few breaths, you might notice a slight head buzz or a little bit of dizziness. Then that means your anxiety went down. Anxiety cannot exist at the same time as calmness. So that's what you're feeling the adjustments of in those moments. So after you take a few breaths, if you start feeling a little dizzy, that means it's doing its job of regrounding. So try it a few times. In some cases, your anxiety might be so extreme in the moment that you might have to do a few deep breaths over a span of like 5 to 10 minutes, whatever it takes. If you start feeling dizzy, your body's calming down, you're able to take your mental thoughts and actually use your toolboxes during those mental thinking and, help re-establish your natural self of being instead of the anxious feelings. Okay, so when you're doing these breathings, make sure that your feet are on the ground and that you can feel that your feet are on the ground. You might even want to start with, I am safe. I am planted into the earth. I'm grounding and, you know, paying attention to every little sense. If there's smells, maybe you have a nice candle burning, and then you're starting to really notice that aroma and it's easing your mind to. And so, with these breathing techniques, it's a way to anchor when you're going through these little mental storms. So, if you need to, you can pause this video and practice those breathings in this moment. If you are feeling any anxiety, I highly recommend you pause, rewind, and breathe with me. I hope that helps. I also suggest that making this deep breathing session a habit, especially if you're experiencing anxiety on a daily basis. Anxiety loves to whisper, what ifs? What if I mess up? What if something bad is going to happen? Let's flip the script. When you catch yourself spiraling into those negative thinking patterns, ask yourself, is this thought true? Is there another way that I can see it? Try to find different perspectives in the moment. If you can, if it's about another person, try to put yourself in their shoes. Maybe that would, you know, ease the anxiety that you're feeling, and that way you can relook at the situation in a different way. And that can also bring new awareness to the situation and help you ease your anxiety, and the overthinking ceases as well, and your body basically gets back into that normal, natural rhythm that it should be in, not the state of anxiety. Also, a recommendation would be keep a journal of all your anxious thoughts. That's something I do that has helped me. I start seeing my own patterns of anxious habits, and I call them habits now for me personally because I realize how long and how much they've affected me to where it's literally become just a habit. Like my body, I'm better now at like consciously being aware of like how to use my tools, but now I'm just really working more with my body because your body's going to remember something longer than your mind's going to remember, because it's easier to fix the mind than the body sometimes, but they go both hand in hand. So the physiological side of anxious feelings, you know, like the heart racing, the shakes, just the pure yuck feeling that you feel inside, it's just not worth to have as a habit. We tend to come up with some coping mechanisms to get through life, and anxiety is one of those. And anxiety doesn't solve our problems. We cannot solve anything when we're in the state that the anxiety brings to us. It's very heavy, it's very flighty, it's very fearful energies, and things aren't as clear when you have anxiety. So that's why it's very important to work on it and make sure that it doesn't become a habit. Or if it has, it's okay. Just know that, become aware, hey, this is a habit. I'm going to work on this better. For me, one thing I did last year was when I realized I was at a peak stage of anxiety, I was like, I've got to cut out caffeine. And I did. And it was hard. I didn't completely. I didn't say no more caffeine at all. Some people that have anxiety issues do that, and it very much serves them well in the long run. Cut out caffeine if you need to and see the difference. I literally quit making a pot of coffee. I used to drink 1 to 2 pots of coffee a day. No joke, a day. And one day I woke up and said, I cannot stand the way I feel anymore. And I noticed that in the mornings I would drink my coffee, and throughout the day I drink the coffee. And as the day progressed, overthinking came in, and then my body was already, you know, in its little flighty levels from the caffeine, and then I could not discern all of a sudden between, am I feeling anxiety and do I need to pay attention to what's happening? Because, like I said, it's an alarm. Or is it the caffeine that's tricking my body and reacting the same way anxiety does? Is that what is the issue? So I literally went a year break from making a pot of coffee. Now, I've recently come back to coffee, but it's no more of the original habit that I had before. I don't drink a pot a day. I won't even drink a pot of coffee a week or even in a month. Well, maybe a month equivalently. I don't know. It's been a new thing for me to just, pace myself with it and be very mindful of what the coffee is doing and where my mind is. If I wake up and I feel a little anxious in the mornings, I don't even make it. Like, don't. Like, you're just asking for it to get out of control, possibly. If you're extremely exhausted, I get it. Maybe it'll help perk you up, but don't drink it all day, all night. Um, yeah, if you can cut out caffeine, that would be extremely helpful. Another love that I have is sweet tea, and so that was another thing that I couldn't quit completely. And it does have caffeine in it, but it's nothing like coffee. So pick the most anxiety-prone beverage or food. There's some food out there that can probably stir up anxiety too. You just have to pay attention to your body. I started realizing I was drinking way too much coffee, and so I decided I'm going to take a break and see how it goes and see how I can better manage my anxiety. And I spent more time with my thoughts than coping with waking up, wanting the coffee to keep on going. That first week of waking up and not drinking coffee last year, it wasn't really as bad because I didn't want to put it in my head that, oh gosh, this is going to be hard. Because if I did that, then I'd probably be making another pot of coffee like a few days into that first week of quitting. So I already had an open mind of, okay, things are going to be slightly different in the mornings, but if I replace it with something better like orange juice, for example, maybe not so much with all the sugars, but whatever, it is better than, the antsy, caffeinated beverage that I was choosing, creating a really storm within myself of anxiety. It was just not worth it to me anymore. So that's what helped me. And I hope this helps you, and maybe this can bring you some new ideas that you can incorporate if you have been already working on managing your anxiety. Or maybe you're new to this, maybe you're not sure what's stirring within you, and I hope this video helped kind of clear that up for you on what anxiety is and what it can do. And yeah. So another tool that's really helpful for anxiety is cognitive behavioral therapy. And I don't want to get too much into that today. I want to save that for another video. But it is a very helpful tool, and you can look it up. Um, there's been a lot of research to show that it has helped many people cope and manage their anxiety. So I'll be doing more videos on these in the future and bring up some more tools that could be helpful for managing anxiety. And I'd really appreciate it if you feel like this video helped you. Please like it. Please share it with people you know. If you know someone that struggles with anxiety, this would be a very helpful video for them. Please feel free to share with them. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do. There's going to be many more videos posted just like this one that could be helpful for your mental health, as well as learning a little bit more about some toolboxes that can be used to help you get through your day-to-day life for your mental health awareness. And just to let you know, I'm not a therapist, but I do have a background in psychology. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology and certifications in life coaching. And so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And If you relate to this video and would like to share any tidbits about some toolboxes that you use to manage your anxiety, please share in the comments. That could be very helpful for others. And I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much and have a great day.